We're back again with another travel review, social studies video that I'm making about some things that I've noticed from traveling around the world, and specific in Latin America, but this could go everywhere around the world. Now, I want to tell you guys that black men, first of all, let's go ahead and start with this. Black men are loved worldwide. They love us everywhere. Bullshit. Let's start there.
Hi guys. So you guys remember that last year around this time Auston was in Africa, right? And he is now planning to go back to Africa again. And he's going to Africa again for the same reason he went there for the first time. He went there the first time because he was chased out of Brazil and rejected by Asian women in Asia. So he went to Africa because he didn't have anywhere else to go because he was rejected by Asian women and he was kicked out of or chased out of Brazil. So that was the reason he went there the first time. He didn't go there because he loves Africa. He went there because that was his only option. He went there as a last resort. And now, he's going back there this time around for the same reason, because he was in Brazil and Brazilian women rejected him. Asian women has already rejected him. So he doesn't have anywhere else to go. So he is going back to Africa.
Now let's get into today's video. Today's video is titled, I'm going back to Kenya permanently. I'm going back to Kenya permanently. I'm still going to Turkey Monday, but after that, I'm going back to Kenya permanently.
He's going back to Africa because every other continent or nation has rejected him. For him, Africa is almost like a garbage can where those rejected by other nations, other continents are thrown into. And that is truly disgusting, right? This guy looks at Africa like a garbage can. When he is rejected by women from other continents, from other nations, he go to African women. He's not going to Africa because he loves African women. He's not going to Africa because he likes Africans. He is going there because that is his last option. Not his last option, his only option right now. So yes, he's going there because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. Just like I said, that's what happened the first time around too, right? He went to Africa because he didn't have any other option. And it's not just me saying that, right? Because he was, like last year, he was on Travel Time with Paul's live, saying that he would never have gone to Africa had he not been kicked out of Brazil.
And it was so much heat. I just knew. I'm not even gonna be able to explain myself. Like, I think this is the end of Brazil for me. So I was real stressed out. I remember just laying in that bed that night. I called O'Shea, I called Andre, I called so many people just wondering, like, tell them, like, what do I do? What do I do? And they were telling me, oh, you should stay in Brazil. You'll be fine. I'm glad I didn't listen to that. And I'm not saying that they misled me on purpose. I just think maybe they didn't know the severity of it. And God,
I was thinking had you just went to another part, a different city, and just was low key, you would have been all right. What you think?
Yeah, it could have been. Had I went to somewhere like Amazonas, I think I would have been fine. But which I should have did that, maybe. I shouldn't have done that because I probably wouldn't be in Africa right now.
He got kicked out of Brazil because he made videos degrading Brazilian women, telling the world that Brazilian women are easy access for sex. So that video got him in trouble and he got kicked out of Brazil. And when he got kicked out of Brazil, he went to Asia. But what he found out was, Asian women do not really like men like him. So he didn't have anywhere else to go. So what he did was he decided to go to Africa. And the same thing is happening this time around, right? Brazil, he sneaked into Sao Paulo, a Brazilian city, in such a degrading way, right? Because he could not go through the strict passport control area, because he knows that if they probably checked his passport, they would kick him out or something. So he had to sneak into Brazil, and he thought he sneaks into Brazil because he calls Brazil his personal paradise. So he thought he was gonna sneak into the country and recreate the fun he had the first time around. But what he found out was that Brazilian women do not really like black guys like him. So he left Brazil truly disappointed, truly disillusioned, and realizing that the only women who are willing to deal with losers like Auston are black women. So he he went to Sao Paulo, and he was really disappointed. He didn't have luck with the women because the women didn't want him. And of course, he cannot go to Asia because from his first travel, he knows that Asian women do not like men like him. So the only option is, of course, to go back to Africa. And he remembered that, this guy, the first time he went to Africa, and he left Africa, he didn't leave Africa in good terms, right? After he 2 days after he left Africa, not even 2 days, I think a day after he left Africa, he went on YouTube and made this video. He made this video calling Africans beggars, scammers, claiming that living in Africa because of scammers and was very expensive, basically degrading Africans.
It does feel good to take a break from Africa for a bit. I love the food, love the weather, the people, but all that begging, man, everywhere you go, somebody trying to scam you. Women ain't got no money. I mean, some of them do, but the majority of them don't have no money. Every now and then they trying to hit you with a okie doke and try to get $60 here, $60 there. You need to pay for their Uber. Africa is not as cheap as it seems. Once you start living there, you start actually seeing it's really not that cheap, especially if you're gonna be single. It's not cheap at all, so it feels good to take a break, for my bank account to take a break too.
So this guy has absolutely no love for Africans. He's not going to Africa because he wants to be with his own people, like he always tries to make it look like. He's going to Africa because he has absolutely no other choice. Africa is his only remaining choice. I made this video about the first time he went to Africa, making almost the same point, saying that the reason he went there was because he got rejected everywhere else. And in that video, I pointed out that passport bros like Auston treat Africa and Africans the way they treat black women here in America. What happens is, where black men, a lot of black men would go, try to get it with non-black women. But what they would find out is that either the non-black women do not like them, or if they want them, it is just for, fetish. So when they realize that, they cannot make it with the non-black women, they go back to the black women. They see black women as their fallback. And that is how they are treating Africa. They're treating Africa and Africans the way they treat black American women here in America, which is the reason why I have been saying this over and over. And African women like me should never allow these men, the passport bros, to use us, to weaponize that against our black American sisters, because the way they treat black American women is the same way they treat African women. They do not like the way we look. They do not like our phenotype. The only reason they are tolerating us, and it is tolerating, it's not they like us, just that they have to tolerate that, is because everywhere else they are not having luck. Brazil, the Brazilians do not want them, Asians do not want them, Colombians do not want them. That is why they are passport bros like Auston are going to Africa. They do not like the way African women look. Auston has said over and over that African women are not really good looking. Like he says something like you have to like really look to find an attractive African women, whereas he says something like in Brazil, or it's like every girl that walks by is beautiful. So they do not. He's not going there because he likes the way African women look. He's going there just it's almost like he as a refuge, right? Africa is now his refuge because he has been rejected everywhere else. So, of course, the way Africans should treat him is kicking him out. That's what they should do. This guy is, he degraded Africa and Africans. He has been degrading Africa and Africans for the last, and since he left. Actually, he started doing that before he even left. He made videos like this one calling Africans scammers. And mind you, let me talk a little bit about this, this video. In this video, Auston called Africans scammers because someone had sent him a package from America, and when he went to pick it up in the post office, they charged him import tax, and he labeled the import tax scam. But guess what? Auston had to do the same in Brazil. He was being charged a very high import tax to the point that he said it was cheaper to fly to America and buy an iPhone and fly back to Brazil instead of having an iPhone sent to Brazil and going and picking it up because the import tax is that much, so high. But guess what? He never called the Brazilian import tax scam because these people look down on Africa. Whatever for them, anything, whatever Africans do is bad, not because the thing is bad, but because it's being done by Africans. And whatever non-African do is good, not because the thing is good, but because it is being done by non-Africans. It's being done by non-Black people. And this is what the colonized mind thinks. That I have written about the symptoms of the colonized mind, and I will link it to this video. But Auston is a colonized mind, and you don't want colonized minds in Africa. Anyways, let me know what you think. I plan to do a video maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks. If you guys, would like to, if you guys would like that, let me know. Anyways, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.